Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Voicewhat presents Self-Reliant India, Brands and Leaders in association with Republic TV. My name is Nayan, and through this series we bring to you inspiring Indian brands that are paving way into making India a self-reliant nation. Today, the story that we're going to tell you is that of India's largest market disruptor in the digital lending space. We're talking about Online PSB Loans. In the credit marketplace, they have envisaged state-of-the-art AI, digital analytics technology, and a robust automated finance ecosystem, thereby empowering the conventional lender and borrower. Let's delve into the Online PSB Loan story. A cutting-edge digital lending platform, Online PSB Loans has transformed India's digital lending market space with its streamlined loan analysis, digital infrastructure, speed, agility, and robust technology. In just half a decade, the company managed to create a niche for itself by setting up end-to-end funding solutions that cater to multiple businesses, financial institutions, and individuals. Its initiative PSB Loans in 59 minutes has revolutionized the credit market with digital approval for business loans, mudra loans, retail loans and microfinance in 59 minutes from anywhere, anytime without having to visit the bank physically. The infrastructure now enables straight-through loan processing, that is STP, for all lending requirements. It was Mr. Jinant Shah and Ronak Shah's vision to facilitate financial aspirants in India with automated, innovative and hassle-free funding options. Poised with modern technology and a superior lending ecosystem to date, Online PSB Loans have partnered with more than 21 banks and has successfully disbursed loans worth Rs 72,000 crores. I'm at the Online PSB Loan office, and with me is Mr. Jinant Shah, the CEO and Managing Director of the company, along with Mr. Ronak Shah, who is the COO and co-founder of the company. Under their leadership, the company has grown exponentially, and they have been able to carve a space for themselves in the Indian fintech industry. The many awards and recognition nationwide are a testament to the fact that they are here to stay and they are here to dominate. We'll speak with Mr. Jinant Shah first. Thank you for having us here and a very warm welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be a part of the show.
Mr. Shah, could you please elaborate on the thought process and the origin and inception behind the company, and also the initiative of PSB Loans in 59 minutes?
So what happened is in 2010-11, we are working with various MSMEs. We used to go to various MSMEs, we used to look into their cash flows, their financials. The challenge that we faced at that time was that the bankers normally would look into a property-based financing. We used to discuss with bankers that the cash flows of the company are really good. Can't you give the financing based on cash flows? So the challenge over here which we need to understand is, what is the population of MSMEs in India? Say there are around 6 to 7 crore MSMEs in India. Right. Out of this, say around 1 to 1.5 crore MSMEs are formal and balance all are informal. Informal sector of MSMEs never used to get bank financing. They were always connected to money lenders.
Right.
Money lenders used to lend them at say crazy 20%, 30%, 40%, even 50% rate of interest. Okay. The other part of the formal MSMEs, we look into 1 to 1.5 crore of MSMEs, 80 to 85% are small and micro enterprises. But banks used to give loans to medium and large corporates. And there is a reason behind it. There are 1 lakh bank branches in the country that process MSME applications. And there are 1 crore formal MSMEs that require financing. So looking into that, every branch needs to process 100 MSME proposals. And they do not have the bandwidth to do that. The next problem of the industry was branches used to lend on relationship based finance. So we had to figure out how to bring the property based financing into a cash flow based financing. So from 2011 to 2015, we worked upon a solution. Now for solving a problem, you need to understand the problem that bankers had and problem that MSMEs had. Now this is something we did a thorough research. And say from 2015, we were certain that technology is the right bridge. So 2015 we created this company. We went from bank to bank, branch to branch, collected every bank's form, that what is it that the bank wants in a physical format. To our surprise, we figured out that it is not the property that is the first requirement in these forms, it is the cash flows and profitability. That was always the primary requirement of the banks. It was more of the branches who wanted that, okay, what is the property? That was their first question. So we collected all these forms. We figured out that technology can actually bring the MSMEs to the banks without consuming so much of time of the branches. We created a massive infrastructure that had multiple integrations, GST integration for bank statement with bureaus. Every data which a bank has to process, that data got processed digitally. So it took us 3.5 years of creating this infrastructure, showcasing it to all the banks, and thereafter the banks acknowledged that in 2017 and 18 they figured out that while personal loan was going digital, MSME loan can also go digital. That is where the 59-minute loan portal got launched. And it is known as PSB Loans in 59 minutes. It was launched in November 2018. And since then, we have been very, very happy that the MSMEs of this country are taking benefit of that.
It's an amazing journey. I mean, considering you've not just bridged, but how you've used technology to bridge this massive gap, I think that's commendable. I just want to ask you, what is the digital lending process from the lenders and borrowers perspective?
I'll first answer it from the MSME's perspective. So if you are a businessman, if you are an MSME, normally you would require a loan somewhere 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore kind of loan. And say you don't have a property to be given to a bank. So what this process does is, this process asks you 3 or 4 data points to be inserted or details to be put in that system, and basis that data, entire bank's process is checked digitally. You need not go to a bank branch to ask that whether you are eligible or not, what loan you will get from that bank. Now this infrastructure, the first step for an MSME was GST. You put your GST number, you put the OTP you get, entire data of GST is fetched. You just put your income tax return on that site. You don't have to tell what is your balance sheet and profit and loss. The system will check those. You just put your 6 months bank statement, upload it, and the system will read the entire bank statement. Just upload the data that you have. You don't have to manually fill in forms. And the system also checks the CIBIL history, the bureau history from the back end. The analysis is done at the back end from the system. So this system on the customer front, we say it is a 59-minute process flow, but in actual, if you have the data available with you, you can actually do it in 25-30 minutes also. And in 30 minutes, you would get an approval from a bank on the other side. This approval, we call it as a digital approval. This approval will give you a certificate saying that the bank, this branch will process your application and disburse it very, very fast. So in 5 to 7 days, you are getting loan up to 2 crores or 5 crores also using this infrastructure. From the banker side, entire processing of the application of the data is done by the system. So a branch person's 80 to 85% of the time is saved by this system. So only 15% process is remaining, where a branch has to do a site visit, get the agreement signed, and then do the KYC and disbursement. And that is where we say it takes around 5 to 7 days for disbursements to happen.
So is this based on a certain algorithm or a predictive model?
So in 2018, the models that were launched were, you can say it was next generation thought process at that time, which we call as the advanced business rule engines. These advanced business rule engines were given to all the banks. They can actually set up parameters that they had never thought of or never heard of. So 2018 was the pioneer year for the MSME next level business rule engines. And today in 2023, we are very happy to say that those processing of applications where we had given a next level of business rule engines, we have even automated that and given them something called as the fit rank. Now this rank is something that ranks every MSME that is processed using the application. So their processing algorithms or processing models that used to be of the banks, we have taken it to next level now. So the risk models of the banks would reach in this year to a very, very advanced stage.
Mr. Janan, will you please elaborate on the innovative technology and this data interventions that has made this whole product one of a kind?
The data that is required for processing MSME applications is far more comprehensive and far more complex than a personal loan application. Okay. For an MSME, what is your sales, what is your purchases, whom you are selling, from whom you are purchasing, what is your labor cost, what is your material cost, what is your inventory that is there. All this analysis are to be done. Now, it was always thought that this analysis have to be done physically, manually, looking at the papers of that MSME. Right. Now, this all things, while they were always there on the paper, were also there on the systems. So what we did is we integrated multiple systems on this infrastructure, and that is where the innovation came. The innovation says that if there is a data that is available, if banks call us in different names, but the base infrastructure remains the same, it keeps on innovating and it keeps on collaborating and getting multiple innovations integrated into one infrastructure. And that is where we build a massive infrastructure for the lending industry.
This brings me to my last question to you. Can you tell me, how does this system prevent fraud and ensure that there is absolute safety for anybody who is a part of the system?
So that is the primary concern when you go digital. That going digital, are the data that you are getting, are they authentic data? Is there transparency in the systems? And whether the banks can rely on this data. So one thing we were very clear is that the data that we are integrating in our infrastructure should be from the source. Okay. If it is not from the source, you have to have additional checks and balances. Similarly, the bureau data comes from the source, that is the bureau, so that is CIBIL, Experian, Equifax, right, and Highmark. Similarly, we had integrated fraud registries also. So there is something called as a Hunter score. Now this score actually, along with other databases, provides you a fraud score. So a person who has done fraud at any place in the industry would be reported in this database. Now this database had to go digital. So we ensured that every database that is holding the source data is integrated in this system, and that source data is also digital. So one of the key things that we did in this revolution was that the sources of data were also taken digital, and therefore the entire infrastructure went digital. The next level of transparency, authentication and data validation came when we took the infrastructure to another leap. We have worked on this infrastructure with the collaborations, innovations, integrations, automated risk modeling, the fit rank coming into play, few clicks and disbursement to MSME. Now this is something was never heard upon, was never thought upon. It is already happening. It is just a matter of few clicks. Entire data from source gets validated. The fraud and other points are also checked, and basis that MSME will get disbursement in their account without visiting a bank branch. And those things are already happening, and later on, say later into 2023, you will see this happening with a large number of MSMEs in India.
Thank you so much, Mr. Janand. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We'll take a short break. Welcome back. You're watching Voicewhat presents Self-Reliant India, Brands and Leaders in association with Republic TV. My name is Nayan, and we are about to get insights on the OPL operation and key framework of Online PSB Loans with Mr. Ronak Shah, who is the COO and co-founder of the company. His role has been pivotal in managing the business strategy and operations of the company. My many congratulations to you, Ronak, for this beautiful success and endeavor that you've achieved. So, Mr. Ronak, my first question to you is, what are the key metrics for borrowers to choose the correct loan product? And also, does the system help them in choosing a suitable loan product?
Absolutely. So, Nayan, the key thing is here, see, we have digitized the borrower process, and we have not only digitized the borrower process, we have digitized the most complex lenders process. For borrower, they have to complete a digital journey, and by digital journey, we have removed the entire paperwork. So, let's say for providing your GSTN detail, you put your GSTN number and OTP you will receive on your mobile, which is registered with GST, and your entire GSTN data is fetched.
Right.
Then you have to upload your income tax returns of last 1 year, 2 year or 3 year, and 6 months bank statement. So that's a very simple and basic process which we have made for borrower. And similarly, we have digitized the most complex lenders process. But by digitizing lenders process, what we have done is that there are business rule engines or products which are called. So on our portal or on our marketplace, there are more than 400 different products of all the banks. And once a borrower completes a journey, the match engine or the algorithms match with all those products. So as a borrower also, let's say not only one product, but let's say of a single bank you are eligible for 4 or 5 products, those also will be shown to you, and multiple banks where all your profile is matching, you will be shown. So for a borrower, it's a very simple process where you will come to know from number of banks or number of products that what's your eligibility, what's your return interest rate, what's your tenure, and as a borrower you have to simply click a button and your proposal will flow to that bank.
Oh, wow.
So not only it simplifies the process but gives borrower the right choice of product.
In fact, I was just thinking that the government is currently, really encouraging this whole digitalization landscape in the country. So as a company, what do you think are your expectations, in order to be able to achieve more in the future?
So see, government has taken right steps in digitization of the economy or lending or formal, and just to give a simple example, payments. Okay, the UPI, the kind of infrastructure which government came up with.
Right.
And today we are the highest, probably in terms of number of transactions we see per day or per month, we are highest in the world. Okay, so that's a phenomenal thing. So government is taking all right steps. Now in terms of lending also, government is taking quite a few right steps to improve the access of data or probably the account aggregator system which is coming up. So only thing is that our request, if it has to be government, is that they have to simplify certain processes, that more and more MSMEs come to the formal system.
Right.
Okay, now the key thing is if more and more people come to this formal system and government simplifies that process, then more and more MSMEs or businesses can get formal credit at a very low interest rate. So that's the one thing which we would want the entire system to work towards.
Ronak, in fact, what are the other kind of benefits that a consumer kind of receives once there is a disbursal of loan that takes place?
So see, post disbursement there is something called monitoring of the loans for lenders. So it's not for borrowers but it's for lenders, because if let's say a lender has disbursed a loan, they would be interested that what is happening to that amount, is it being deployed properly. So now the kind of new infrastructures which we are coming out with, and with the help of account aggregator systems and all that stuff, not only loans will be disbursed digitally, but till the time the loan tenure is there, a lender can access borrower's account and track that is it properly going, or if there are some early warning signs, they will receive that. Okay. Now another product we just launched under the mentorship of SIDBI and co-created with TransUnion CIBIL is FitRank,
Okay.
FIT. It's basically on finance, income and transaction data.
Okay.
And it's a first of its kind of AI ML based rank which is launched. No one has got that kind of product. And not only there, you get, so let's say in 4 clicks or 5 clicks real time you will get disbursement of loans, but probably a MSME himself herself can check their profile, that are they doing right business, where they are going wrong, what are the things they need to improve. So those are the kind of new products which we are coming up with.
Great. In fact, Mr. Ronak, I also want to know what are the kind of projects that you've done so far that has made Online PSB Loans what it is today?
So we have just started our journey, though we started in 2015 and our first platform PSB Loans in 59minutes.com was launched on 2nd of November 2018. Jan Samat, which was another portal, got launched on 6th of June 2022. Now we are coming out with GST Sahay, which I was talking about, which is an end-to-end solution, and on every GST paid invoice you will get disbursement real time in your account. So testing has already been done with SIDBI and it has been sandboxed at RBI. Wow. Now we are working closely with quite a few banks to implement that solution, and it will be live pretty soon. FitRank is another product which we are coming out. Right. And see, as we said, that our DNA is innovation. And in our country, if we have to reach where everyone is talking about a 5 trillion economy or probably an economy more than that, then the formal and the right credit at right time is the key to that success. Okay, so we are trying our best to come out with innovative solutions, and we believe that we have just hit the tip of the iceberg, and a lot of work still needs to be done, which we are doing along with all our partner banks.
India is still witnessing a gap in the digital lending space. How is Online PSB Loans kind of capitalizing on that kind of gap?
See, Nayan, it's not only that India is lagging in digital lending or digital loan processing system. Believe me that today the way the systems are robust or all the banks are working towards that, those systems are in place. The key thing is that, let's say if you have to do a contactless digital loan processing, then those datas have to be available digitally, and MSMEs need to understand that if they need right kind of loan at right interest rates, let's say by right interest rates today, because they are not in the formal credit system, they pay interest rates anywhere between 18 to 24%. But let's say if they are regularly filing their returns or GST returns and an informal space, then today this infrastructure is capable of lending them real time or disbursing loans real time at anywhere interest rates anywhere between 8 to 12%. Okay, so it's
economical for, I think,
very economical and makes a lot of business sense for MSMEs, because that's the kind of savings they are doing, or probably that's the kind of more money they can invest, or let's say their working capital needs can be solved.
Correct.
So digital infrastructure today is there in place. A lot of new solutions, as I told you, the GST Sahay product, which has been sandboxed at RBI and has been already tested by SIDBI. Now we are preparing that solution and getting quite a few banks live pretty soon.
Right.
So there are those kind of digital solutions which are already being done or are already in place. Okay, it's about more and more MSMEs adapting it to it by providing or coming to formal credit system is going to probably. So if you ask me, the way UPI was there and it took an exponential jump,
right,
the digital lending also now has reached that kind of stage where probably we are pretty confident that it's going to receive that kind of exponential growth in coming quarters or coming years, the kind of solutions which are being provided.
Thank you, Mr. Ronak Shah, for joining us on show today. You are truly championing the cause of Make in India and making this digitizing process so much more smoother. My many congratulations to you once again.
Thank you, Nan. It's a small steps which we are taking. We think it's still a journey to be covered, and entire ecosystem is working towards it, and we are contributing a little bit into it. But thank you very much for talking to us and hearing out our story.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Online PSB Loans is leading India into the path of self-reliance. With this, we have come to an end of yet another episode of Voicewhat presents Self-Reliant India Brands and Leaders in association with Republic TV. My name is Nayan. Stay safe and stay updated with Republic TV.